Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. And with me on this episode today, I have a former USMC officer, leadership expert, happiness scientist, and a keynote speaker who specializes in helping individuals and teams unlock their potential through the science of bravery. Schulman, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Yeah,
well, and talking about bravery, when we first came on, I'm like, you are one that knows bravery with your line of work as a firefighter.
Yeah, but don't you think? I mean, we've been around these colleagues, so we don't really think of it that way. Did you think, or?
Yeah, you know what? I would say, like, for me as a Marine and you as a firefighter, we're like, maybe it's just part of the job to be brave. But
yeah.
It's one of those things, even defining what is bravery. Bravery, sometimes people think bravery is when you run into a burning building. Like, literally, I use that example all the time, and now I'm talking to a firefighter. So it's so relevant. But it's not just that. I mean, that is obviously the quintessential example of bravery, but it's about just stepping into discomfort. It's doing the hard things. It's getting, it's when you have some fear or it's going to be uncomfortable and you do it anyway. So when it comes to bravery or courageous acts, it doesn't mean that we don't have any fear. It means that we take action even though there is some fear. That's what bravery is. And that can happen at work, having the conversation, that uncomfortable conversation that you need to have to resolve something, or walking up to that person that maybe you're interested in to because you had a crush on them for a while. That's an act of bravery. So there's.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of work around that. So I did some life coaching and stuff like that in relationships. Yeah. Men hitting on girls the wrong way can actually be the wrong thing, especially if the girl was interested in the guy. It's like, oh no, you've really blown it now the way you've done that, because it's a confidence thing, right? So it's
totally
not, with men it's just looking at, oh wow, look at that beauty over there.
So, anyway. Well, there's also there's stupid bravery, and then there's like the wise bravery. So like like I say, like if someone says, hey, I bet you can't do like 5 shots of tequila in 5 minutes, like that would be stupid bravery. We don't want to do that, right?
Yeah. There's a new thing about that actually, where people do that, obviously, and even in the fire service, but not all, but there's people that might say, hey, let's just do this and this. But the thing is, they've invented this new word called intense drinking, and there was like binge drinking and obviously alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. And now there's a new one called intense drinking. That's the one you're talking about now. But anyway, yeah, that's not brave, is it?
No, that's exactly. And really, bravery is about, again, getting out of your comfort zone, taking a leap towards something that you really want. But it's scary as hell. You've got that fear there, but you move toward it anyway, So in the bravery that I teach with organizations and I speak to audiences, throughout the world, these have to be things that are goals that you have that are intrinsically motivating. I think so many people end up hesitating to do the things that they want because they're scared. So this is the bravery I'm talking about. It's helping people avoid a life of regret, so it's pretty exciting to talk about, and not a lot of people are talking about kind of the cognitive side of, and in organizations, like we do a lot of, teaching people like, how to get better in their skills and how to get, just how to do their job better. But a lot of times what holds people back from really achieving their potential and performing at the best is sometimes like, some of the thought patterns in your head,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I touch on, and what I teach to my clients based on my research is the cognitive side. Like, how can you think differently in order to build that bravery muscle? So it's about what I call, brave mindset. But then it goes beyond that. Like, Dave, if someone thinks like, I can do that, but then they don't do anything, that is just a dreamer. So we've got to make sure we can build a brave mindset, but then we help people take brave action. Like if you're going to wait until you're ready and you have no fear, it's not going to happen. So helping people understand, just, take that first step. So, so it's brave mindset, brave action, and then also brave relationships. Being vulnerable enough to ask for help, right? Being brave enough to go up to people and introduce yourself and say, hey, I want to do what you're doing. Do you have any advice for me? So it's those three things. All those three things together is what really helps people build that bravery muscle.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we'll go a bit more into that. And I know you've got a book out, and we're going to talk about that as well, The Science of Bravery, which obviously ties everything up we just spoke about. And let's talk a bit more about you. I mean, we started talking about the Marines, obviously. I joined as a firefighter. My interest in coaching started from 10, 11, 12 years old when I first had, probably 12 years old when I had a track coach. Obviously, if I was good at track, that's where coaching got introduced to me. And then it became more, hang on, I'm getting stressed. And the sort of things you're talking about, I had to deal with personal development stuff and leadership, when you join an institution like yours and ours,
Mm-hmm.
you're up against something that other people don't reach,
Yeah.
So it became more than just coaching, running around a track or throwing a football around or, stuff like that. Tell us your story then, I mean, where's your humble beginnings before you got into all this to inspire my audience?
Well, I was born and raised in the Midwestern heart of America in Minnesota. And
Prince,
so that's where
Prince is from, isn't it?
yes. Yeah. Well, good little factor. Yes. Prince is there. There's even like a purple palace, which is his
really?
house. Yeah. There is.
Right.
So if anyone ever goes to Minnesota, that's kind of like one of the tourist things to do is you can actually go to Prince's house, the Purple Palace.
Yeah.
So was born and raised in Minnesota. And for me, I just wanted more for myself. I didn't want to just stay in the same little town. My father was born in a little town of Prior Lake, Minnesota, and he's just never left. And he's always been comfortable in that little bubble. And I just know for me, I wanted more. So I got on a plane when I was, 18 years old, bound for San Diego, Southern California, to start my journey to become a United States Marine. And talk about scary as hell, right? In fact, so I was going to pursue my career as a Marine, but it was through a program called Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps. So basically I had a full scholarship on the Marine Corps, where I go to college first, but I'm training to become a Marine officer. And then when I graduate college, then I'm active duty. But I got to just paint this picture for you because it's
No.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a good impression. So I'm reporting into the University of San Diego's ROTC unit. So that's where I went to school, University of San Diego.
Yeah.
And when most people go to college, they just go to the college and check into their dorms. But for me, I had to go a week early to check into the ROTC unit for what they called orientation, which is like a little mini boot camp.
Yeah, right, okay.
And I wanted to make a good impression. So I put a lot of thought into my outfit that I had. It was kind of warm in San Diego. So what do I wear? So I found this what I thought a very professional suit. It was these hot pink silk shorts with white polka dots, which I thought looked very professional. And then it was a white silk shirt with a matching collar of the pink with the white polka dots. And then I completed the outfit with pink heels, little pumps that match perfectly, and even my nails matched the outfit with little rhinestones and gold on it to just finish the look. What do you think happened when I showed up?
I really don't want to answer that question.
So just think of a scene from Legally Blonde. Think of Reese Witherspoon meeting what you think in your mind as a Marine Corps drill sergeant. So
yeah.
My first couple of days were kind of a rude awakening.
No, I can imagine. I remember when I turned up a bit naive about the fire service. And not that bad. I didn't turn up like you, but I had questions in my head that was really the wrong questions to ask. It's a bit I suppose it's a bit like, not officer and a gentleman, but it's
well, that's officer candidate school is kind of what we go through, and
I know,
but and the first day I showed up, there was actually a Marine someone I looked up to. Like this was someone who was a senior. So like I was coming in, incoming freshman. They were about to graduate. So it was a senior, an upperclassman. And he actually came up to me. And because there was only 2 females, everyone else was males.
Right,
and he came up to me and he whispered in my ear and he says, "You will never make it."
All right. It was the same kind of thing that was going on in the fire service when I joined. And there was like probably 2 black guys in my squad, but then there was a few females in the squads behind. They don't call it squads anymore because they're trying to get out of this military type thing, but it was militarized, and and it was kind of like that, and more so to the girls, because you can, when you think fire, at that time you didn't think there was female firefighters at all.
Exactly.
And then even internally, it's like you know. You're not going to make it through. As I say, it's a bit like the Officer and the Gentleman, and it's kind of like they tried to do it to me, but I was a bit of a joker, So I sort of said, "Oh yeah," and I got through everything because obviously with my fitness and just I just really was focused. But anyway, back to you.
Well, anyway, I obviously got through it. But I got to tell you, like, I always feel like if I can become brave, anyone can be brave. So bravery is a muscle anyone can build. It's a mindset, but I thought when I was flying into San Diego, I thought I was amazing. I'm like, I got my scholarship because I'm athletic and I have great grades and I've had demonstrated leadership. And then I get there and I realized that I actually didn't have all my crap together. And in fact, in the Marine Corps, and I don't know if it's the same thing like in the fire service, but lots of physical training, lots of working out, right?
Yeah.
And one of the most shameful things as a Marine is if you cannot keep up in runs. It is one of those, if you
I think that it's more tougher in the Marines actually, because we've had a lot of Marines join the fire service. Not a lot, but I've served with at least 1 or 2 in every.
Maybe the physicality is a little bit more.
It's more extreme,
and I did some running in Minnesota, but you know what's in Minnesota where I lived? It was flat. Okay. You know what Southern California? Do you know what the geography is? The topography? There are hills, so it took me years of just. I was not in the shape that I thought I needed to be. And I certainly wasn't keeping up with all these, incredibly fit Marines. But the great story to kind of sum this up is, by the end of my journey, I was considered one of the top Marines. I got the highest score coming out of officer candidate school for my school. And I actually commanded the ROTC, the Naval ROTC unit, of 200 plus, other military people. So, it's kind of that story of, it took me years to be able to get there, but, with continued effort, I was able to get there. So I did my Marine Corps. I graduated, I served active duty for 5 years. I kind of joke as my first career was blowing things up because I was a combat engineer, which we do demolitions. And then my next job was selling drugs. But the legal kind.
I know. I used to say that about people that said, "Oh, I'm studying pharmacy," because I went to study politics as part of my trade union stuff and interest in politics. Because I know you do psychology. We'll come on to that in a minute. And whenever I came across someone studying pharmacy, I said, "Oh, so you're training to be a drug dealer, right?"
Pretty much, pretty much.
Legally, obviously.
And I was good at pushing drugs, right? So I spent 13 years in corporate America, most of it leading. I had various leadership positions. And another thing that just kind of influenced me is, I think there's kind of this theme where like, I thought I knew everything about leadership. I was a captain of Marines, right? Getting out to the civilian world. And I realized there were so many amazing leadership development classes that I went through, and I had so much to learn. I made a lot of mistakes as a young leader, but I was always hungry to learn. So as I went through different leadership development programs and I was hungry to learn, I became so much better, which kind of leads me to, so I spent 13 years in the pharmaceutical, biotech, medical device industry, like leading teams. And then my next careers, I started my own company doing leadership development because I was so impacted by it. So I did leadership development. I'm the founder and CEO of Breakthrough Leadership Group. So that's how I started really helping organizations by teaching them, all the leadership things that I've learned. And then I feel like about every 10 years, you kind of get that itch. Like, I'm like, what else can I learn? And I stumbled upon, Dave, this study of positive psychology. Like it was, it all started by, I watched this TED Talk by a guy named Sean Aker. Sean, Shawn, and then Achor. So if anyone wants to look up the YouTube. But it was this positive psychologist out of Harvard. So I'm kind of like, okay, obviously he knows what he's talking about. But he was saying to drive business results, he goes, don't wait until you achieve your results and then enjoy happiness. He goes, people think the happiness equation is, once you accomplish something, then you become happy. He goes, no. He goes, that's the math is wrong. It's when you're happy and you can find positive emotions in the journey, that is when you achieve success. So it was more of a business application of positive psychology. And then I was hooked. And any of the references he had, I started reading other books. And then I finally said, like, okay, what's a new challenge, right? I want to study this. And so I found out that there was a program at the University of Pennsylvania, obviously highly competitive school to get into, where I could get my master's in positive psychology. And just like the Marine Corps, people go, why did you choose the Marine Corps over the other services? I'm like, because it's the hardest and it's the best.
That's what they used to say. Yeah, it's the same thing. They say the Marines, but then they used to say, no, the Paras is more, much better, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. There's a rivalry there. But so I decided, like, I'm going to apply to the best school of positive psychology, not thinking I'd even get in. But I did. I got accepted into that program. And so then I really took that deep dive in psychology and learned everything about positive psychology. And that's kind of what led me to what my current focus is really the science of bravery, that specific, that virtue of courage and bravery to help people, not just, Dave, what I really found out, which was surprising to me, is it's not just about accomplishment. Like, accomplishment by itself is not what I'm really trying to help people do, is accomplishment just to be more successful. But what I found in the study of happiness and well-being is when you can achieve meaningful things, like things that are intrinsically motivating, it not only leads to higher levels of success, it actually leads to higher levels of well-being and happiness. So what I teach does drive results in organizations. I mean, they hire me because they want me to help drive results, but the overall happiness and well-being of the team that learns these skills of bravery, that's what I think that's what really inspires me, is the shift I help make in people that they apply to all aspects of their life.
Wow, well, that's a great way you put it all in so perfectly from beginning to end. I love that. I love the way you just put together your journey there. And so here you are now as a expert in positive psychology, and you wrote a book as well, Science of Bravery. Tell us about that. Yeah.
So in order to really spread this message, and I think today's day and age, people need to understand that do not choose the easy path. Do not choose the easy button. I think people are confused and they think the key to happiness and well-being is to make everything easy, right? So this message of anyone can be brave, and teaching people that choosing the uncomfortable path, stepping into something that scares you, I think it's such an important message. I decided to write a book on the science of bravery just to scale it, right? So this book, will be coming out, will be launched in end of May of 2020.
Oh, it's not released yet?
No, it's not released yet.
Oh, I see. I thought it was already out.
Now,
damn.
The manuscript is done, but when you write books with publishers and all that, so there's all these things that lead up. So stay tuned for the book, but it's written as a parable.
Please get your agent to contact me again, and then we'll have you on when you do the book launch, so we can promote it properly again.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but sorry, I'll cut across you. Go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just, but I'm excited. I mean, the reason I chose to make it a parable is, it's just the power of storytelling, right? So there's some books that I have loved in the business world. So like, I've ever heard of like Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer.
I think I heard that one. Yeah.
Or Ken Blanchard's 1 Minute Manager. Like they're short parables that the story teaches you what the lessons are. So this one is it's very entertaining, easy, fun read, but you definitely learn the lessons of bravery. So that's really book number one. I'm working on the scientific one with all the academic stuff, because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd at heart. So
the Science of Bravery isn't an academic book. It's just a kind of popular psychology book that anyone can read.
Yeah. So there's going to be two. The first one is, what I'm trying to my motivation here, Dave, is I think sometimes you pick up the book, the one that has all the science within it, and I don't know if people are going to read the whole thing. So my motivation is I want them to read the whole book so they learn all the lessons. So everything in the parable of the science of bravery, that everything in it is evidence-based. It's all based on the science of bravery. So it's all there. And all the references are in the back. But then I'm going to have a companion because there are nerds like me that want like all the academic stuff. So I got a book for like, I want everyone to learn it. But I just realized that the academic or the more scientific one, like people might not read the whole thing. So there's going to be two different ways for people to learn about the science of bravery. So the first one will be the story.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. And then the other one will be more scientific based, where they can evidence and cite it on their thesis or whatever. So, what was I going to say? Did you actually write a thesis in your
I mean, as part of the program, there's a master's thesis. We call it a capstone, and that really is what started me on this journey. Is I was curious about, what are the aspects of positive psychology that are really going to resonate with the masses? And I just got this statistic from Ryan Nemec, Dr. Ryan Nemec, also from UPenn, but he's an expert on character strengths and how character strengths. So anyway, one of the character strengths is bravery. And he just published an article saying that when he asks people out of all the different character strengths out there, which character strengths do you wish you could increase? And bravery was one of the top two that are always cited. So I feel like people have this desire, like they realize that they kind of hesitate. They want to be they want to be braver, but they just don't know how. So I'm kind of on a mission to help people realize you can build the bravery muscle. Like it is, and this is where that book number 2 is going to tell all, but like from a neurological perspective, like when you start stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things that you're a little bit scared of, you got to start small. You start rewiring your brain, right? Specifically the ACC, and so anyone can build that bravery muscle and be more brave. And if you do, like, you are going to look back and you're going to have a better life, and you're not going to live a life of regret. So I'm so passionate about helping it. So my master's thesis is what really helped, because they make you have to do this capstone as part. You don't get your diploma until you do this master's thesis.
Yeah, no, master's is really hard. I didn't do a master's, so
but it helped me focus on like what am I most interested in. So that capstone, that master's thesis really is what helped me focus on what aspect of positive psychology do I want to bring to the world. Yeah. And it was tough. I mean, tell you, Dave, like I tell you, it was scary going into the Marine Corps from a lot of the physical like aspects, but getting a master's at the University of Pennsylvania, academic writing, like, oh my gosh, like
what a journey. Well, I was quite chuffed when I got my just a bit simple BA, honors.
Yeah.
And then writing a dissertation, because I had dyslexia when I found out I had dyslexia when I studied, I thought, no, I hit a wall. But yeah,
I hear you.
I know your journey now, and it's very inspiring. And thanks for sharing with my audience today this journey. It does say also here that you're an entrepreneur.
Well, as an entrepreneur, it's me stepping out of like, there's all these times that I've kind of taken that leap and I've demonstrated the bravery myself. So yeah, I started my business, my founder and CEO of Breakthrough Leadership Group. So stepping out of the comfortable, I was in a very stable like corporate job, right? Why wouldn't I just stay in that? I was very successful. I was making a lot of money. Like, why wouldn't I stay in that? Right. So so stepping out and taking the risk to be an entrepreneur and start my own business, that's kind of scary. But I mean, I got to live my model, right? I got to live.
That is exactly it. And that's what you've done. And so now you can share that, around the world. I'll probably take a few lessons from that myself. But no, I mean, for me, it's a passion really to just try and do all this stuff, coaching, the book myself. I have a book that I just want to do some speaking with, really, just like you as well, Probably not on a level that you've done yours. So you really have gone more deeper into that world,
Well, I want to just for a second, I want to talk about you. Like, you have started a podcast, right? That must have been a little scary to get started.
It was, yeah. And the first, but that was 2018, about nearly.
Yeah, but you were doing it before everyone started doing it. That required bravery. You wrote a book knowing that you have dyslexia and writing is a challenge, like you are demonstrating like this bravery when you know something's going to be hard, but it's meaningful to you and you take steps forward anyway. Like, I mean, that's why I wanted to be on your podcast because I was inspired by your.
That's what I mean, you were a core kind of reason why I did what I did, so that you're kind of a core guest that will come on because of that affinity, of what I've done, and I track those guests mostly. When I do have people from, I mean, obviously the world of sports will talk about these things, and there is a crossover. There's a lot of people in marine and emergency services, first responder type that are quite sporty as well. Not necessarily, but they're, because we're actually described as, I forgot what it called, as something athlete for tactical athletes.
Yeah.
When military, firefighters, police, that they're called tactical athletes. So you're actually described as an athlete because, because it's tactical job on the front line, So.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think sometimes when your listeners are thinking of a firefighter, an athlete, United States Marine, I think they just think of that external, they're physically brave, but it's more than that. So I would encourage your listeners, if they want to learn more, they can connect with me in the notes, in your show notes of, JillSchulman.com. So my first name, last name, JILLSCHULMAN.com. And then you can just sign up for the newsletter. But it's I have a good friend of mine that I studied with at UPenn who is a police officer, right? And we've had all these conversations where it's not just being macho, but a lot of bravery is being vulnerable too. So there's a lot to unpack, and I know we're done with the show, but when after the book is launched, I'll come back and we can talk a little bit more about tactical things.
Yeah. It's just good to have your personality on the show and just talk about your story and inspire other guests, and that's what you've done. And you've also stole my thunder my line by asking before I finish, can you tell us where we can find you? And you said your website, but one more time before we go.
Okay. I know your listeners probably find different ways. So you can go onto my website to get my newsletter and so that you get kind of the stream of things I send out. But also I'm also on Instagram, Jill Schulman. If you also on LinkedIn, my marketing team is going to start doing things on TikTok. I mean, that's scary for me. I'm like, TikTok, what? But I'm I'm a little scared to do it, but that's why I got to move forward. So and all over the different platforms.
Yeah, I've got to try that as well. And apparently marketing is the area where you really do, it's just, I've just got to pay for the marketing team really and just get it done,
You know what? That is one of the things I found, and it just to kind of tie in even what I teach is you've got to have those brave relationships and just kind of understand instead of just figuring it out on your own. I don't know a lot about social media marketing and how to get my message out there. So what I've done is I've had to build those brave relationships. I've got to find out who's good at it. And then I got to be brave enough to say, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Can you tell me what to do? And there are ways that you can get information and then you can do it yourself. But for me, I want to focus my time on speaking because I'm flying around the world. I'm speaking, I'm writing my second book. I can't be spending my time trying to figure out how to do TikTok. So I got to pay people who are great at it to do it.
You've got the same goals as me, really, in terms of that, really. So speaking, coaching,
we can help each other.
Push the author. Yeah, definitely. There could be we could be sharing a platform one day. You never know.
That's right.
I'm sure and I'm definitely going to have you back on the show. Just make sure you let your agent know that, or yourself. Directly that the book's nearly ready, or just to say hi, but in the meantime, I know we're going to run out of time here, and sorry about the shortness of this show, but I'll definitely love to have you back. But in the meantime, thanks a lot for coming and sharing your story and what you do to my audience today.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation, and sounds like we're going to be having another conversation next year, so I look forward to it. All right, take care. Thank you so much.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.